I sent one in, but that's okay. I can
Okay.
I can speak extemporaneously. Yeah, Michael Mortenson. I've lived in Vancouver since 1989. I've been a renter, I've been an owner. I currently don't live in Vancouver at the moment. I'm just residing out of the city for the next little bit, coming back. I run a development consulting company called Livable City Planning. I am a developer. I'm a developer of market housing and non-market housing. Currently, I have about 5,000 units in planning throughout the metro region. So I'm a housing expert. And I think, how interesting. I just want to echo the comments of Helen and really compliment her on her fine testimony to you. And I really suggest to you, wouldn't it be interesting if every single new single detached dwelling application would have to go through this process with council to justify approval of a single detached house? It would be really interesting if we inverted this question. How is it that we put rental housing through this grilling process, right? When in fact we have this other 60% of our city that gets approved and rubber stamped. 300, the most square footage that's being developed now in Vancouver, by far, by area, are single detached homes, replacing old single detached homes with no net new addition to the housing stock. 60% of our city is locked into single family use with houses that are $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million that are affordable based on income to less than 5% of Vancouver families. How is it that we're subjecting rental housing to this kind of grilling? I think we need to flip that on its head. But I'm just going to get really quick to the meat of this, though. But I definitely support this policy. I think it is a modest incentive to create new rental. It is working. If you want data, if you're the frog in the pot who wants data, look around. Look at the rental rate, the vacancy rate. Look at the new supply of rental housing, which for 40 years has been absent in our city, which is just turning on now with some of council's incentives through the last few years. So it is working. We are getting new rental housing, and we need to continue it. So I wanted to implore you to trust the experts that you have on your staff, in your planning department, in your real estate department. They have scrutinized the data. They have scrutinized the pro formas. You have objective third-party consultants. You have reports from Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, who I work for in affordable housing. I am building market and non-market housing, and I know how razor thin the margins are for rental housing. We need to incent rental. We need to give rental vitamin D, vitamin density, to balance the playing field between condo uses and rental uses. There's been tons of consultation on this policy. It's been in the media, and it's been before council for years. And this is a modest move. I just wanted to say that the forms of housing that the staff report sketch out can be completely integrated within the DNA of all of our neighborhoods. We can still have leafy neighborhoods with lovely landscaping and charming homes. They're just going to be a little more dense, a little taller, but that the forms of development are completely compatible and appropriate on the arterial roads that we have and within the internal areas of our city. I think we need to go further. I think we need to rezone areas around parks for multifamily de facto, as of right. Why should those areas in high amenity parts of our city be the sole domain of single detached dwellings affordable to less than 5% of our families based on income? So this is a question of equity, economic equity. It's a question of addressing climate change by allowing people to repopulate neighborhoods that are losing people on an absolute basis. Dunbar, Point Grey, I mean, really, these places are dying for new people and new residents to reinvigorate the local high streets, all within access to cycling, transit, walking. We need to relax parking. If you want affordability, if you want a policy to create more affordable housing, I've heard council ask that, relax parking. Zero rate housing for GST. You should be lobbying the federal government to zero rate housing for GST. You should be lobbying the provincial government to pull back property transfer tax, which has now climbed to 5% of land. So with that, I compel you to approve this policy. It's the right thing to do. It's the ethical thing to do for environmental sustainability, social sustainability, and economic sustainability. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Do you believe in data-driven, evidence-based decision-making?
Absolutely. Look at the rental rates. Look at the vacancy rates, Councillor Hardwick.
Really? And I have been. And I have also been asking for information about secondary rental market, about short-term rental market, about zone capacity, about pipeline of development. And none of this information has been forthcoming. And furthermore, CMHC have noted that they have serious data gaps in their understanding. So do you not think that it would be more prudent? You talk about basic land economics and fail to understand the impact of precipitous upzoning and land inflation.
Sorry, is that a question, Councillor Hardwick?
Yeah, well, again, you're flying all over the place, and I'm saying, are we being selective then in what data we're choosing to use to support our narrative here?
I'd suggest you're lost in data or the absence of it. It's staring you in the face.
It is not staring me in the face. In fact, even the director of planning acknowledged that they didn't have.
Councillor Hardwick, this is a question period. It's not a debate. I just heard
Michael say, make a bunch of claims about my father, and I'm not allowed to talk about that.
You're actually not. This is questions to a speaker.
So I asked about data. He told me to follow the data and then said we were lost in data.
We're lost searching for it. The data is there. I mean, look at the evidence. We have 1 million. What's the new population moving to Canada? 1 million people over the next 4 years. A third of them will come here. We need new housing. We cannot just wander around asking for data. It's literally staring us in the face.
Wander around. Anyhow, there's no point in pursuing this conversation. I'll leave it.